Hello, Captains. This is TONIK TZW, and we're in World of Warships Legends, sailing the Tier 6 Italian battleships, the Francesco Caracci-YOLO. And I hope that I have pronounced that correctly to anybody that is Italian and is watching. Now, if you haven't yet progressed your tech tree through to this level of Italian battleships, it is, or rather, I say it can be a monster at close quarters battles, as you will see in this match, which was taken out of a live stream that we did the other day. And I have to say, I was best pleased with the results on this one and thought it deserved a separate talk through. Now, the Italian battleships have a thing called SAP on their secondaries, and that is semi-armor piercing. So it is not just high explosive, it is not armor piercing, it's kind of a mix of the two. And dare I say, it's a little bit like EOP on cruisers. I'm not quite certain if the correlation is there. But this thing will take chunks out of boats if they get close enough. And to help you do that, it has this wonderful rolling smoke. Now, as long as you're not in a smoke penalty for having fired your main guns, if you're sailing along at top speed and hit that rolling smoke, you will disappear right before the enemy's eyes. As long as the targets are spotted and they're within range of your secondaries will continue to fire, but either until you fire your main guns again or your smoke runs out, you will be completely undetected to the enemy apart from by sonar or radar. And it really can give the red team a nasty surprise. Now, as we started off, and we do what everybody does in Two Brothers and head off to the corners of the islands and look for flanking shots and try and chip away at the red team, as they also try to do the same thing here. And you obviously get teams that do try to push up the middle. And as we sailed across here, I noticed that our destroyers had pushed out, and very few of the red team had been spotted at all. And I did comment to Locutus and to Felix, my two division buddies in this game, that I really think red are going to push centre. My gut is telling me that they're going to come straight up the middle, because we should have seen more red team ships by now. Now we do have the Surrey running up the flank, and we try to pop some shots at him. He's going at a fair rate of knots, and as I don't play battleships too often, it takes me a few salvos to get my eye in on where my shells are going to land. Now, I don't have the premium Italian battleship commander that was released, so this is a full secondary build. I do have I think it's Elaine Scharnhorst on for, I can't remember if it's grouping or dispersion. The two always get me confused on the commanders. But no sooner have we put a few salvos out there, and lo and behold, a Brandenburg comes steaming up the middle between everything. Now, we all know that the Brandenburg is a bit of a secondary monster as well, and I think it rivals the Bismarck in some cases. And this guy, thankfully us, decides to hang a right at the top of the channel. And that is going to give us an opportunity to get some fire onto him while pulling back and not going into him. But Brandenburg also has torpedoes, and that's something that we're going to have to look out for. Now, the Vanguard and the Surrey take this opportunity to really start pushing the left side of the minimap very hard. And we decide that we are in the best position to pull back until such time as they can get around that corner, all the while laying fire onto the Brandenburg. And you will notice that as the Brandenburg has turned right, in North Carolina comes steaming up through the middle. Now, I do the wrong thing here, and I hit my rolling smoke, forgetting that I've just fired my main guns, but I do hit my secondary booster, because that North Carolina is broadside, and our secondaries are going to start lighting off on him. And these things will, chunk for damage, and they are relentless. Once you are within range, those things start going nuts. You can already see we're almost up to 50 secondary hits. But I think it's Felix there who completely slaps him and takes him off the map. And I think Jess is calling that there are 2 other ships in the centre. Vanguard is still having a pop at me as I sail away. And my other 2 teammates are still behind me there trying to deal with him. And I say, well, if they're going to sit in there, we are going to get cornered by the red team destroyers that are coming round. So the only option I have really is to push into the centre and try and take care of these 2 guys in the middle. Now, I'm in a battleship. I'm not in my kamikaze, although this does seem like a bit of a kamikaze move. Now, timing is everything in this game, and the timing of that fire on me was a little bit wrong. I potentially could have let it burn. That might have saved me a little bit of damage as I got into this little engagement. Because I'm telling the guys that I am considering ramming this first ship that is there and gunning the Wichita for as much as I can and hopefully giving the rest of the team a chance. But this guy decides he doesn't want to get rammed and turns inside me and picks himself up a trip to the beach. So I start a hard turn at the right, keeping my guns on him. I'm already burning. This Wichita is going to put a few fires on me and things start to get really hot. But already my secondaries are going absolutely bonkers on both sides of the ship. I've now got 3 fires. We're almost up to, there we go, 100 secondaries in probably the first 30-40 seconds of this engagement. I don't have a damage control. I don't have a heal available to me yet. I can't do anything but burn. And as the Colorado is probably the biggest risk to our team, I'm staying focused on him, using my main guns, trying to do as much damage as possible. Now this guy, I don't think, has learned how to lock his turrets, because as he's reversing, his turrets are looking where he's going. And I managed to take one of those turrets out, which gives me a little bit of an extra chance at survivability. And now that the Wichita has disappeared after 220 something secondary hits, it is the turn of the Colorado to suffer the same fate. My damage cons put my fires out, I've hit my heal, and I'm looking for a sweet spot on this ship, and I managed to slap him for a citadel. Now it is 4 versus 4, or it's now 3 versus 3. Red team have 2 destroyers and a cruiser. We have 2 battleships and a cruiser. Now, given where red team destroyers were last spotted out on that right side of the minimap, I decide that my best option is to rush straight through the middle and onto their cap, because a battleship and a cruiser should be able to take care of that Surrey. Now, I think he's pushing in, trying to get within torpedo range, or he's trying to get fires on the 2 guys that are defending the cap. There is one of the red team destroyers. So time is of the essence here. We have, I think it's 6 minutes there on the map. I know I've got sufficient time to get through away from these 2 destroyers, both of which are spotted now. And I've switched my guns to high explosive, because I only need 3 minutes on their cap. Now we lose, I think it was Felix there in our cruiser. I'm not quite sure if it was Felix or Locutus there. But we've got a Brandenburg. Brandenburg's got his great secondaries. We know he's got torpedoes. So I'm hoping and praying and asking that this guy will defend our cap. And I sort of give an indication there, break through to the base and give an affirmative to tell him that I am going to push through here. Now, if either of those destroyers focus on him with torpedoes, they could kill him, and that could potentially give them sufficient time to get through this central channel. I don't think at this point both of them on the cap would be sufficient to turn it. I didn't think of running a stopwatch on that one. But I've got my guns to the rear, I've got high explosive loaded, I've got these amazing sort of 6.5+ kilometer secondaries. So anything that is going to try and sneak up on me through the channel, coming around that corner, is going to get spotted. Now, as soon as I do get spotted, I could pull forward and use that beach on my right as cover from torpedoes. There isn't sufficient time for them to come all the way back around the map to the right side of the mini-map, so their only option is to come through the centre. Now the Jervis gets himself somehow spotted by the Brandenburg and then gets taken out by the Brandenburg secondaries. And the Kagero also gets himself spotted by the Brandenburg. And for his troubles, he also gets taken out by the Brandenburg secondaries. I pick up a fireproof. The Brandenburg picks himself up a Kraken. So we finished that game on 157,500 damage with fireproof, close quarters, high caliber. Only the 2 kills. But there was something like, what was it, 287 secondary gun hits, and most of those happened in that 2.5 minutes engagement with the Wichita and the Colorado. So that's a quick talk through of this game. The replay with me on camera and the full party chat is there available on my past live streams. So if you want to go see how it all rolled out live, please do go across to the channel and click on that and watch it through. I think it was last Thursday's live stream. But that's it from me for now. Take care. Thanks for watching. If it's your first time here, please do click subscribe and you'll get notified when I upload new videos or when I go on live stream. Take care. Goodbye.